What's up, everybody? Welcome to the first ever Who Got Next live NXT pre-show, baby. Let's get this going. So kawaii. I'm the NXT heavyweight champion in like 2014. Just to let everybody know what's going on. If you guys just clicked over, you guys don't have no idea what's going on. You just clicked the link because you saw a cool Twitter because Tomasso Ciampa obliterated a fan of NXT Axxess. What's going on? I'm Phil, but you can call me Phillium. And my co-host, the voice of reason, Nicholas Giacobbe, he will be calling in soon to tell us all about that Tomasso Ciampa story. But before that, what's going on? This is Who Got Next. And together, me and Nick are the top guys of NXT coverage. What a great wrestling week already. What a great wrestling weekend it's been. And it's only been 2 days. And now we are ending Saturday night with the best show. The only show that matters. And that's NXT Takeover New Orleans. Who's hype? Because I'm hype, baby. Let's go. So kawaii. So hype. Let's get this going. Now, Nick should be calling in within the next 10 minutes because he is at Axxess and he is doing a million things. So hopefully he gets in and he calls kind of fast. Now, let's bring up the match card because I want to start getting into some of these matches. Now, actually, before that, let's talk about something. So the show's going to run about 30 minutes. I don't want to keep everybody too long because I understand that some people are walking into the stadium of NXT. There are pre-show matches going on for takeovers, as anybody knows who has been to these shows. So I don't want to take up too much of your time, right? I know right now there is a Shimmer pay-per-view going on, Shimmer 100. Wish I was watching it, but NXT, bro. NXT is more important. NXT comes first. You know what I'm saying? NXT is like the main chick. You know what I mean? Like it might be the secondary show or the third show, really, technically. But NXT is the main chick over here. You know what I'm saying? When you don't cheat on the main chick. So let's start talking about the matches while we wait for Nick to call. And first match that I want to talk about is the NXT Tag Team Championship between the Undisputed Era, Roderick Strong and Pete Dunne, and the Authors of Pain. Now, this is one of those weird matches. Hey, what up? Keenan, what up, Keenan? I'm reading the chat. I'll be in and out of the chat, just reading it. But, so, the tag team match now, I'm really excited about it. I think it's going to be a good match. But going into it, it's been kind of rocky. We have the injury to Bobby Fish, which kind of throws everything off a little bit, I think, right? Adam Cole will be competing in this match. However, we got to see what this match does, right? Because I know on the shows that we've done the last couple of weeks, me and Nick have been saying that we think AOP goes up after Mania. Now, that would be either Monday or Tuesday. So I don't see AOP winning, to be honest with you. I do see Undisputed Era retaining, just to be real. I think that with Bobby Fish's injury, it's going to kind of change the plans that they have for the North American Championship, which is later on in the night, which we will get to. But you think WWE has fan access tomorrow? Nah, I don't think so, Jeremy. I think it was more maybe honestly. Wait, if I had to pick though, just for good radio or whatever, I think the tag team titles change hands. If Mustache Mountain gets to the finals, I think it changes hands because I think honestly going into this tag team match and keeping talking about this tag team match, I think that the plans were for Mustache Mountain to win this, and with Tyler Bate getting injured a couple weeks ago when they were doing the tapings of the Dusty Classic and stuff like that, I think that it kind of threw everything off and threw the timeline of stuff going off. So I think that Undisputed Era definitely retains. And then if anybody has to change hands at Axxess, probably Mustache Mountain, just as like a cool thing. Because in reality, you can't do 4 different tournaments and not have somebody win, right? Because it would be like, oh, it was kind of a waste of time. And yeah, Keaton, I know you're a Roddy and Pete guy, but I think that Pete Dunne and Roddy Strong, I don't see them as a tag team for that long. I think Roddy Strong goes up to 205 Live for real after Mania, right? And I think that Pete Dunne goes to this UK tournament and he's a big fixture and not competing in it, obviously, right? But he'll be there and he'll be kind of the one, whoever the tournament wins, I'm sure they'll get a title shot against him. And I'm sure Triple H wants to start building that UK brand. So I think that this is their way to set it up and their way to kind of get it going, right? But now, what do you guys think? Like, do you guys think that it's pretty much set in stone that Undisputed Era wins? Do you think that NXT might do something crazy? Do you think that a team like War Machine might debut and come out of nowhere and kind of destroy everybody? During the match to kind of make it a no contest. I know NXT usually doesn't do that. What up, Eugene? My man, Wade Ilson, you know what I'm saying? Keep it tranquilo. We'll get to him later. But what do you guys think? Tell me in the chat, what do you guys think? If you think that this match is pretty much set in stone as an Undisputed Era retention or retaining, whatever that word is. I don't know, dude. I dropped out of high school. Whatever. I'm just a wrestling fan. You know what I mean? We don't speak good. You know what I mean? Cole will win the first match of the night and lose the second. Maybe. Undisputed Era will take the W, but then come out and destroy them. Maybe. I think that's a good idea. That's not a crazy idea, you know what I'm saying? But it's like, let me move this over so I can see the chat better. All right. So that's not the craziest ideas. I think it'd be cool if Undisputed Era wins and War Machine just walks down to the ring. They kind of have like a stare off, or maybe they run them off. I wouldn't want to see them get destroyed because it's too much similar to how Undisputed Era debuted last year in Brooklyn. And yeah, you got, maybe that's a good way to kind of tie everything together. Like, oh, you debuted and destroyed Sanity, so now we're going to debut and destroy you. Possibly, right? But then if you have something like that happen tonight, do you really want to have somebody like a tag team like Mustache Mountain win during Axxess tomorrow? Like, I don't know, it kind of backs you in a corner. And I know NXT is good of getting out of these like predicaments or whatever, but I would love to see kind of, what plans they have going forward, right? Just kind of see it be more laid out and more like, oh, War Machine is here and we're coming for those titles. Not necessarily like War Machine is here and they definitely have a title shot because they killed Undisputed Era. But for the first match, I'm going Undisputed Era all day because I love them. They're awesome. It sucks that Bobby Fish is hurt, but I think, he'll be gone 9 months. I mean, it'll go quick, right? Ciampa was gone for a long time, but I mean, who cares now, right? Because we're getting into that match and we'll get into that later. But the next match I want to talk about is the NXT Women's Championship between Ember Moon and Shayna Baszler. Now, I think this is sneaky. This will sneaky be one of the best matches of the night just because a lot of people didn't like their Philly match, which I don't understand why. Not every match is going to be like an indie dream where there's 12 flips and all these craziness, right? Some of them have to be a story, right? And I think they've been telling this story since before Philly, right? With Shayna basically hurting all of her opponents and, stopping them from being able to continue or, basically making them submit, right? And in Philly, even though she hurt Ember Moon, right? Ember still rolled her up for the victory, okay? So it's like she snuck a victory out, which I thought was a good idea because it furthers this feud. But I think going into Mania and this weekend, really, going into Mania weekend, I think that they can finally move past this story. I think that it doesn't mean they have to end it all together, but I would like to see Shayna win, and I think Shayna's going to win. I really, really think Shayna's going to win. I just think that it's her time, and I know we were talking about it on Rant with Ant this week. Rant with Ant is our parent show, is our partner show. I'm also on Rant with Ant if you guys want to check that out on iTunes. But we were talking this week and saying how, with Ronda Rousey being there, that someone like Shayna Baszler winning a title isn't the craziest thing in the world because I think they want to really start building this, faction of MMA fighters with Rousey and Shayna, and maybe, I don't know, SummerSlam being a good opportunity to have like a 4 horsewomen versus 4 horsewomen match, having Charlotte, Sasha, Bayley, and Becky versus Rousey, Baszler, Marina, who's Roddy Strong's wife, and Jessica Lynn, I think her name is, right? Those are all the 4 MMA girls. But, yeah, I just think this is Shayna's time, man. She has all this momentum. And there's so much other talent in NXT right now in their women's division. You have Candice LeRae, who's a face. You have Dakota Kai, who's a face. You still have Peyton and Billy for the time being. And even though, yes, they are heels, they do get a face reaction. So you can easily make them faces just for the time being, right? You still have Nikki Cross down there. And she's a face. Sanity are kind of faces, right? Because people love when Nikki Cross goes crazy and goes nuts. And then, of course, you have Kairi Sane, who I think, after winning the Mae Young Classic, hasn't really done much, right? She's kind of just been there and, oh, look at me, I'm really good, and I have this fantastic, unbelievable finisher, but we haven't really seen her in a storyline, and I would love to see her in a storyline with Shayna. Now, with that being said, I think not only does Shayna win, but maybe we get Shayna versus Kairi Sane in Chicago, right? And Takeover Chicago in June for the Money in the Bank weekend. And then we get Shayna versus Candice. Because I think by SummerSlam, Candice should be the top face in the company, right? I think Ember Moon will definitely be called up before SummerSlam. I think that with rumors of WWE starting some type of women's tag team titles or just, extending what women are doing on these shows, I think that Ember Moon can definitely go up. But let me check this chat out a little bit. Surely War Machine can't take out Undisputed after they retain Cole as a second match unless they replace Cole in the ladder match. Now, they're not. I don't think they'll replace Cole in the ladder match. I think that the ladder match is the money match, and the tag team title match is kind of like, let's just get through this, right? Not saying it's not gonna be a great match, right? I definitely think it's gonna be a great match, but I think that the tag team title match is kind of like on the back burner because it being a ladder match, not only that, but being a 6-man ladder match, and you're debuting a new championship. So Adam Cole's one of the biggest stars you have in NXT, and I think that you want to have that guy front and center and be probably on the ladder getting knocked off right before whoever wins it, or have him win it, right? Yeah, Keenan, see, for people who weren't in Philly for the Shayna Ember match, I think that, it's like watching at home, like you might get bored or whatever, but being there and being live and, it's cool to kind of see storytelling, right? Because later on that night in Philly, you had Gargano and Ciampa, not Gargano and Ciampa, I'm getting ahead of myself. You had Gargano and Almas doing, having the best match of the year, right, so far. And you had this unbelievable match between them. But it was a great story, but it was a wrestling match, right? Where Shayna and Ember was just a war, and it was a story on top of that. So I'm looking forward to what they're going to do. I think that they've wrestled each other a few times since Philly, and I'm sure their chemistry's getting better and better every week. So I definitely can't wait to see what they're doing in that match and what that match is going to mean for the women's division moving forward. I think personally, I'm more excited for that, right? Because like I said, there's so many women in NXT that are just dying to get on TV, right? The Lacey Evans, the Bianca Belairs, Dakota Kai's. You have Rhea Ripley, who looks awesome in these live events that people are sending us videos and pictures of, and she's killing it on live events. So I would love to see that. But, we'll see, right? We'll see what happens in this NXT show tonight, and I'm very, very excited for the first 2 matches that I just talked about. Now let's get into the 3 matches that I'm sure everybody cannot wait for. What's up, Martin? What's good, man? Shout out to Martin, bro. He's in the UK. It's like he's going to stay up to like 2, 3 o'clock in the morning to watch NXT tonight and even later to watch Mania tomorrow. So shout out to Martin. Appreciate the love. So the next match, I'm going to go in order of how hype I am for these matches, right? So the next match I want to talk about is the NXT Championship match with Andrade Cien Almas and Aleister Black. I'm a huge Almas fan. I think that Almas should hold this title until Brooklyn. I've said it on our show every week. Me and Nick say it. I think that Gargano should be the one to eventually take the belt off him. But that's not shitting on Aleister Black, right? I think that Aleister Black, is a main event level star. I think that Aleister Black is... He's just so cool, right? And it's something like... And I hate to say this name, but it's someone like a CM Punk, right? With all the tattoos and like he's kind of different and he's like edgy and stuff like that. I think that, CM Punk brought this like rocker, underground rock vibe with him, and I think Aleister Black does the same thing, right? I mean, we saw it with in Brooklyn last year, right? When he had that rock and roll entrance, and how people get behind it, right? And that's cool, right? It brings a new element to wrestling and wrestling fans and all that stuff. So that's really cool. I just think Aleister Black doesn't need the belt right now, right? And he could kind of be like that guy in the main event that's like here and there. Maybe go down and feud with the North American champion. But I just want to see Cien Almas hold this belt for a little bit, right? And I don't know. I can't remember off the top of my head what's the shortest title reign for an NXT champion. But like, I don't want Cien to only hold it for like 6 months, right? This is his defining moment. He is definitely the face of NXT right now on the bad guy side, right? We all know it's Johnny on the good guy side. Well, I guess not even really, because Ciampa is technically the biggest heel in all the business, right? But I don't know. So let's check on the chat a little bit. So Jeremy's saying Daniel Bryan said he wants Gargano to lose so we can come to SmackDown. So I saw this tweet earlier. Tommaso retweeted it. I don't know about that, right? Because SmackDown has a lot of openings, right? But how is SmackDown going to look after the draft, right? Do you really want to see Johnny Gargano kind of do nothing the same way Bobby Roode did when he first got there? You know, shortest title reign was 2 weeks by Samoa Joe. That was a good pull, Keenan. You're right. You're 100% right. LIJ, Vince is pretty high on Black. Makes you question if he goes up quicker than expected. Oh, look at this. Lil Hoot. Oh, hey, you little Hoot.
What's up, guys? We are live. I am currently in my Uber right now. I apologize. I wanted to be outside Smoothie King. There's a bit of heavy traffic out there, so about 2-3 minutes away, but I will be outside Smoothie King. So we'll really give you guys the best of both worlds. I'm going to be podcasting right outside of the Smoothie King Center, so we are going to be on site, and we have somebody from home running this whole thing. Thanks, Phil. So there's no other podcast out there that is running an NXT from outside Smoothie King and from their house. So I'm excited to talk about it. I'm excited to share my Tomasso Ciampa story, which only you guys will get to hear if you are listening to this. So there's a backstory. I'll tell it probably at the end of the show. But let's get into some predictions. Let's get into some reviews. Phil, what were you talking about before? Because I've been in the Uber for about 10 minutes.
So I've talked about so far the women's match. I've talked about the tag team match, and I was starting to talk about the NXT Championship match with Almas and Black. But, you know, if you want to jump in, we still got 15 minutes left. So, Keenan said, what up? Everybody's saying what's up, man, in chat. So, if you want to talk about those three matches, and give people your predictions on what do you think is going to happen.
Sure. So, if you guys listened to our outrageous show on Friday, Ant came on, and it was an absolute shit show. It was hilarious. Even if you haven't listened to it yet, you should definitely listen either this week or whenever, because it was hilarious. I was crying right next to Ant. Phil's audio was going in and out, so hopefully my audio is pretty good over there. Again, I am calling in on the professional mic or anything. So let's talk about the match first. I called it. I said it months ago. I said it on our first episode, the NXT War Games review. Shayna Baszler was going to be the next NXT Women's Champion. She is. She's going to tear through the division, and she would be the one to beat Ember Moon. And I called it happening in New Orleans because it would be such a huge moment. It would send Ember up to the main room. She would get that you'll call it spark. And if you think about it, this whole takeover really takes years in the making for some people. If you look at Gargano and Ciampa, you look at Ember Moon and Shayna Baszler. But last year's takeover in Orlando from the again, Ember Moon was in the NXT Women's Championship match. She finally got her match against Asuka, and she lost because of a disqualification. But she's now the NXT Women's Champion. It's a huge honor, and I think Shayna's going to be the one to take her off it, and Ember's going to have to run on the main roster.
Listen, bro, you're saying what I was saying, right? I just think that Ember's time in NXT is almost over. You know, I know you think that she's coming up after Mania. I think it's going to be more like SummerSlam, right? But I think that we finally move on from Ember and we go to Shayna. I think that with someone like Asuka holding that belt for, 2 years in NXT, I don't think they make that decision again. I think that maybe 2 to 3 people are going to hold it within the next year and a half. So a Shayna win doesn't seem that crazy to me right here.
Right, it totally doesn't. And the tag team match, I don't even know who I predicted on the show. Do you remember who I predicted?
I think you predicted. I think you predicted Roddy and Dunn because you're such a Roddy fanboy.
All right, so here we go. The Undisputed Era is going to win, and I wouldn't be shocked if Adam Cole took a whole belt. I was at Axxess last night for Johnny Gargano was there. The Iconic Duo was there. I'll talk about it in a few minutes. My experiences. Axxess opened. 4 people went right past Gargano's line, and I'm like, where the hell are they going? They went to the Undisputed Era's booth. The Undisputed Era had the busiest booth last night. It was insane how many people got to meet them. A lot of people have the Undisputed Era shirt on. It's a very popular shirt. So they have to do something to keep these guys relevant, to keep these guys in the swing of things. So they're going to come out with something, and that's going to be the Tag Team Championship. Thank you, man. All right, so I'm getting out of my Uber now. I'm outside Smoothie King Center. It might be a little bit back now. Hanging out with the fans here. I am on site right here podcasting from Who Got Next Pod. This is awesome. So anyway, the tag team matchup, I'm switching my prediction to the Undisputed Era. It's no longer going to be Roddy Strong and Pete Dunne. They're going to feud at some point maybe. Undisputed Era. let's get right into this NXT Men's Championship match. I think I predicted Aleister. I'm still going to stick with Aleister. Here's a note. This will be the main event, I'm pretty sure. Because on the NXT official card shirt, Gargano and Faces are not on the shirt. They're not on the front of the shirt, which is absolutely ridiculous since it's the biggest match. On the poster, Andrade and Aleister on the top of the poster. They're the ones that are going to headline the show. So we talked about it, that would be a bad idea. I still think it's a bad idea, but they're going to headline the show. And I think that gives Cena a greater chance of winning. Do I think he wins? No, my bad. It doesn't give Cena a better chance of retaining. Aleister's going to win, no matter what.
You're crazy.
Prediction.
You're crazy, bro. Ciena's winning. Ciena's winning. Aleister's not winning. And I think that just because it's not on the shirt, I don't think that has anything to do with match placement. I think that match still goes on last. I just think that it's a way to kind of swerve fans to thinking they know the order of the matches and they can just do whatever they want, right? But so before we get into the last two matches, you promised the people on Twitter your Tomasso Ciampa story. So we're going to talk about that before we get into Johnny and Ciampa. I'm dying to hear the full story. Everyone in this chat is dying to hear the full story. So Nick, please tell us your Tomasso Ciampa Axxess story where he basically buried you.
Sure. I'm dead now because of Tomasso Ciampa, and the Patreons got some exclusives last night. I told a few exclusive details. I got exclusive videos. So if you want to be a Patreon, a lot of this good stuff is coming their way in the next week or so. We have awards at $1, $5, $1. I sent them an exclusive video about 10 minutes ago of Dennis Beller's new music. I'm going to post that right after the show to the Twitter. But Tomasso Ciampa. All right, I'm online for Zelina Vega, Andrade, and Ember. And look, they're awesome. I was excited to meet them. I also want to see Peyton Royce versus Candice LeRae. But then I get a tweet from my buddy, the big Mark Hova, and he says, Tomasso Ciampa is signing. And I'm like, I need to go meet Ciampa. This was an opportunity I could not pass up. I knew that I had to dip out of my line, sprint, and get on Tomasso Ciampa's line. So that's what I did. I got on Ciampa's line. I was like 2 rows deep. And Ciampa starts the line, doing a regular signing. People come up, they sign, whatever, they leave. Then he does the ADA line, and he's standing for that. And then he comes back, and he sits in front of the table, and he's not going to sit behind anymore. So he's saying hi to fans. When he comes back, he stands in front of the crowd and goes, if you are wearing a Johnny Wrestling shirt, you better turn it inside out. One person turns it inside out. So everybody's going up. Nobody has a Johnny Wrestling shirt until the guy makes fun of me. So the guy goes up, and Ciampa goes, all right. He takes the black cloth that's on top of the table. It's like a regular table that are using at events to put people through. He rips the cloth off, Sharpies and Levi's go flying everywhere. He takes the cloth and puts it over the guy's head. It was absolutely hilarious. Everybody popped for it, covered the shirt. And then I was up, and I knew he was going to do something like that to me. So I get up, and the first thing I say to him is, what's up, at Project Ciampa? I shake his hand, and he goes, all right, we're doing this again. Ciampa puts the cloth on me. He puts the cloth, and this video's on Twitter, by the way. It's on my Twitter. It's on my Twitter. So Who Got Next Pod Twitter. It currently has over 5,000 views. Has like 300 likes, like 100 retweets. Thank you, Ryan Satin, for retweeting that. I think that helped a lot. So if you haven't seen this video, please go check it out. So right after he puts the cloth on me, he's like folding off all over the place. And he's like, you better keep that damn thing on. I don't want to see the Johnny Wrestling shirt. And he goes to sign 8x10. And I go, no. You're going to sign this. And I hand him a Johnny Gargano sign. The winky face. What's up, Rob? Good to see you. I'm live right now. I'm on the pre-show right now. So Rob said hi to me. What's your Twitter? Let me plug. At ringside said Rob just said hi to me outside the Smoothie King Center. Who Got Next is live. This is awesome.
What up,
Tomasso
Rob?
Ciampa story. Back to it. Phil says, what's up? Back to Tomasso Ciampa. He sees the Johnny picture, writes in big letters, go away, says it out loud. You can hear in the video. He holds the picture up in front of the whole crowd, rips it in front of the whole crowd, says, get in the picture and don't let me see the Johnny picture. And cloth is falling off. He goes, hold that. So I have to hold it. And he has the ripped picture. So the guy who was taking the video, great guy, I forget his Twitter handle, he stopped the video there. I'm assuming because he thought, he was up next. He was going to sign something else for me. Cool, whatever. So here's the part that you guys didn't see. Next, I look at him and I go, hey, man, I'm actually a big fan of yours. Can you actually sign something for me? He goes, of course I will. Then he says to me, what's your name, Nick? So I think Ciampa's been searching my tweets or our tweets. I'm not sure. But he addressed me as Nick before I even told him my damn name.
Yo, it's because he knows you're a Gargano guy, and he knows that you nitpicked the finish of Gargano and Alma, so he wants to beat you up.
Yeah, he probably does want to beat me up. So Ciampa signs that for me. I did plug the show to him. I gave it to me. He said it was cool. He said he loved that. We were giving NXT some light. And then he breaks the kayfabe a little bit, and he says, really enjoy this weekend, enjoy Takeover, enjoy Mania. And he gave me this whole little speech where he just seemed really grateful. It seemed like the weekend would be really good. And then I said to him, well, for a picture, can we throw up the 2 sour? Now, if you guys don't remember, the 2 sour was a little hand gesture that Gargano, Ciampa, and the Revival did on the Revival's last match in NXT at a live event. So I threw up the 2 sour with Ciampa, Gargano, and the Revival when I met them the past weekend. So that's the notorious Tomasso Ciampa story. The video is on our Twitter at WhoGotNext.
So I got something cool to tell you. So our boy Eugene said that your Ciampa video went viral because it's on a wrestling page that he follows on Instagram. So not only did it go viral on Twitter, it has gone viral on Instagram. So that is...
Wait, why is it viral on Instagram?
Wrestling pages are posting it on Instagram.
Oh, wow. That's interesting. So are they plugging us at least? Are they giving us a buzz?
I don't know, bro. I haven't seen it yet. It's Eugene. Well, we'll ask Eugene in the Patreon chat.
If anybody sees it on Instagram and Twitter, plug at WhoGotNextPod and plug my Twitter. So that is awesome. I'm so happy that it went viral. So when I printed the Johnny Wrestling sign, I wanted Ciampa to sign one. I wanted this type of video film, so I thought it would be hilarious, and I'm happy that he did. But speaking of Ciampa, why don't we talk about it right now?
So let's get into that match and kind of bring this show home. Ciampa Gargano, the one match everybody's looking forward to with the whole weekend. I personally think Gargano wins. I think just because the stipulation, it gets him back into NXT. You could always have Ciampa, destroy him at. So Nick, Eugene said he got you. He's gonna start tagging you in those pictures, but
I appreciate it, Eugene. Thank you.
So I think Gargano wins. This gets him back into NXT, and then Gargano and Ciampa have one more match in Takeover Chicago, and maybe Ciampa wins or they move past it or whatever. But I honestly think Gargano wins. What about you?
I'm so split. And today Daniel Bryan was asked. I don't know if you asked the question or you said it.
Yeah, we were talking about that earlier.
The Axxess ring. He said that he wants Gargano to lose to go to SmackDown Live. This just feels like Gargano has to get a big win here. He has to get a big win on his way out, and I thought the unsanctioned match wouldn't have that stipulation, so technically in the record books, Ciampa could say he didn't beat me. Well, he can still use it since it's unsanctioned. So I'm going to go with Johnny. There's a reason they put that stipulation in there. Why else did they put it not to have a match, So Johnny will hopefully win this match. I'll hopefully get a reaction of myself absolutely crazy for the Twitter. I met Johnny last night. Great guy. The Patreons are going to do a nice show about that one. So I'm going to pick John. This match has match of the night quality. It has match of the weekend quality. It has match of the year quality. And we're going to see how that goes. Phil, before we wrap up, there's one match we talked about. It's one that everybody's talking about. The brand new, flashy, beautiful, champagne-leathered North American Championship belt ladder match.
The question is, did you buy it yet? But did you buy it yet?
They do not have it on sale. So
I didn't ask if it was on sale. I said, did you call your contacts, Stephanie McMahon and Triple H, and say, yo, let me get that belt real quick?
I did not buy that belt. It's not in my possession, but I wouldn't be shocked if I got it at some point.
So before we get into the match, Keenan wants to know, will there be color in Gargano versus Ciampa? I say yes. There will definitely be blood in that match. What do you think?
I think Gargano's bleeding. I'm going to say Gargano bleeds.
Okay, I like it. But who do I think is going to win the 6-man ladder match for the new North American Championship? I am going Velveteen Dream. That man will win it. And the reason why I think it's him is because, like I said earlier, Adam Cole will most likely win the tag team championship. I can't see him winning 2 matches and winning 2 titles. So I think that Velveteen Dream holds this, and like Nick's about to say, goes into a feud the second he wins that belt. So Nick, who do you think wins this match?
I predicted a few weeks ago, we did a spoiler segment, and I've stuck to it, that the Velveteen Dream is pushing Ricochet off the ladder tonight. Don't be shocked if it happens. But I'm switching my pick the other way. It's going to be Ricochet.
Oh, my God, Nick. You're out here switching up on everybody.
Hold on. Ricochet's been made such by Triple H, by WWE, by everybody. And if you look at these tournaments and stuff, Pete Dunne didn't beat Tyler Bates. TJP won the Cruiserweight Classic. Shayna Baszler didn't beat Kairi Sane. The first is never a heel. Finn Balor won the Universal title. The first is going to be a face. Ricochet will get it. But after Ricochet gets it, the Velveteen Dream is going to say something like that he should have won the match or something. Maybe he'll get pushed off the ladder or something like that. Velveteen Dream will still feud with them. I still believe that feud is happening.
But in NXT,
reluctantly.
in NXT, the line between face and heel is blurred. Remember, Bobby Roode was a heel technically, right? But he was a face with his reactions. I think that Velveteen Dream, yes, on the books is a heel. However, he gets one of the loudest reactions on any NXT show, so they can clearly just switch it. And maybe even do Velveteen Dream versus a heel going forward. It doesn't have to necessarily be Ricochet. We just think it'll be Ricochet.
You're right. I'm just looking at the writing on the wall, and when I see it, I think they want Ricochet to be second. I think they want him to go back to 3 books as the first. I don't think that Velveteen Dream is the one they want to be the first. Because remember, they want somebody who they trust that's going to be successful. With the way that Dream's gimmick is, I don't know how successful he'll be on the main roster in the future. So they may not have that confidence in him. I personally have the confidence in him, but they might not, and they're going to want this to be remembered as a historic night, as a historic champion. And I think Ricochet is going to do really big things for them, not just in NXT, the main roster. So I'm going to go with Ricochet in this one.
All right, so real quick before we let you go and let you go into the center so you could watch all the pre-matches before TakeOver airs, Martin said that you will have that North American title before you go home, even if it's the real one.
I wouldn't be shocked. Before I go, I will plug some stuff. Again, I'm going to post that video of Bianca Belair's new music that I got from the tapings, or not even tapings, the match at Axxess. I posted a lot of stuff from the matches at Axxess. Check it out on our Twitter, at WhoGotNextPod. Check out that Ciampa video. You can follow me on Twitter at Nick G. Double G, Nikki Double G, at it. Again, I'm having a great weekend. Thank you to everybody that's reached out. Tomorrow I'll provide some coverage on WrestleMania and stuff. So hashtag #WhoGotNOLA is still a hashtag. It's the whole weekend. To the show that we just did on Friday with me and Phil. It's hilarious. It's watching this on a replay. Thank you. It's fucking a lot. Thank you so much. We put a lot of effort into this. I know it's not perfect, but we are perfecting it. Our Patreons will get live shows. If you want our live show, subscribe to our Patreon. And our next live show for you guys at the moment is going to be NXT Takeover Chicago. Me and Phil will both be home. It's going to be up and running. We're going to have a great time. Everybody, please enjoy Takeover tonight. Phil send a live tweet, out tweet some stuff from the show. Aside from that, this top guy is going to be out. Phil, just clink it out and you can finish up. Clink.
Clink. Top guy's out. Nick, enjoy the show tonight, bro. Let me know how it is in there. He hung up on me. So thank you guys for watching this. I want to do a little couple shout-outs for it. So shout out to Jeremy. Cole or EC3 isn't a bad pick, right? I wouldn't have said EC3 before this, but I think that, his personality is winning me over. I think that kind of the crazy stuff that he's doing at Axxess is pretty cool. I don't know what the hell's going on outside. But so I think EC3 might win this, right? He was a former TNA World Heavyweight Champion, so it's not like it's out of the ordinary. But Keenan, Nick is on the NXT creative team. I agree. Eugene, Nick is the head booker. I 100% agree. Nick designed the title. I 100% agree. Nick is NXT, right? I just want you guys to know that. If you go on our Twitter, you can see how the coolest woman NXT fan is Izzy, and the coolest guy NXT fan is Nick, and they're friends. So there you go right there. There's a match made in heaven, a wedding to happen in the future. Shout out to Izzy and her parents. You guys are awesome. But, this is going to be a great show. I will be live tweeting, as Nick said, the whole show. Use the hashtag #WhoGotNOLA, because I will be there all night. There will be some cool videos. Thank you guys so much for watching our first ever live NXT preview show for a takeover, and I will see you later. Top guy out.